Hello, and thank you for watching this video. Um, the man in the photo that you're looking at, his name is Blayne Ferguson. B-L-A-Y-N-E, Ferguson. This is just a terrible, tragic story, and I'm going to try to remember as much as I can and give you the correct details. If I make a mistake, please let me know. I'll put corrections in the description box below because I don't want to spread any misinformation about any case. I'm going to be talking about the astrology of this case, and there is someone right now working on something called location astrology. They're working on this case, and I'm going to put a link to their video below so that you can watch it. And I'm going to be using astrology as well, but I use some slightly different techniques than the person that is going to be doing the location astrology. And so I'll just get started. On September 21st, 2023, at around 2 p.m. in Vernon, Canada, British Columbia, which is southwestern Canada if I'm not mistaken, he was seen on camera, as far as I know, alive and well. Sometime after that, a group of cowards, I guess you could say thugs, filmed themselves assaulting this man on camera, on film, and then they released that assault video to a social media outlet. And I think I read somewhere that a family member actually saw this video of their loved one being assaulted by these cowards. And so anyway, somehow the video got reported to this social media outlet, and the social media outlet took it down. I do not know the time of that video, so we have to use the last seen time of September 21st, 2023 at 2 p.m. when he was seen alive and well. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was just walking down the street or leaving work or leaving the house. That part I didn't catch. But, yeah. Here in the United States, our laws work a little bit differently. Typically, you can't try someone for unaliving someone in a court of law unless there is a body found. There might be some exceptions, but in Canada, I think the plan was to wait for 6 months, and I think at the 6-month mark, which would have been in March of 2024, the coroner could pronounce him deceased so that the perpetrators can be tried for unaliving him. And yeah, this is just a heartbreaking story. Oh, by the way, this video is not monetized. I don't monetize videos about missing people or basically crime victims in general that are missing or whatever. And so anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Also, on my channel, if I mention the name of somebody who might be a potential perpetrator, it's alleged, okay? I'm not stating it as fact. But, so I just want to throw that out there for legal purposes. And I also have to say that my videos, because they're based on astrology, dowsing, tarot, that sort of thing, that they are for entertainment purposes only. But it kind of makes me sick to say that because there is nothing entertaining whatsoever about this story or any other missing person's story. But I just have to say that for legal reasons, and so that's why I put that out there. So I'm going to get into the astrology of this, and I just want to say I don't know if any family members will run across this video, but if they do, my sincere condolences. My heart goes out to you. So sorry about what happened to your loved one here, and I don't know, I'm just kind of speechless when I think about this whole thing. But anyway, moving on, I'm going to start getting into the astrology of this now. I may pull some tarot cards, I may do some dowsing, and I'm going to show an area that I'm attracted to as far as where I think he might be. Okay, I'm from the United States, and so I'm not familiar with this area. I've never been there. I have been to Canada as a truck driver, but it was eastern Canada. It was like Quebec, Ontario, those areas there. And so one thing that I did was I got online and I started looking at pictures of this area called Swan Lake. And I don't know, when I saw this picture, I had a feeling about it, kind of a hunch, I don't know what you would call it. And I don't know where this area is. Maybe someone who lives in the area will know. But this hill, I don't think it would really be considered a mountain, but it looks like just a large hill. I divided it into 3 zones, Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. And I sort of felt like maybe he can be found in this area here. And when I did dowsing on this, I asked about Zone 1, I got a no. I asked about Zone 3, I got a no. I asked about Zone 2, and I got a yes. And so according to the dowsing that I did on this, I'm sorry my camera's acting up, he could be found in this area here. Like I said, I don't know where this is exactly. Somebody out there may know. But I don't believe he's in water. I believe that he's close to water, but not in water. And in a sort of a foresty kind of area. There's probably a steep embankment here or something. And I believe that the perpetrators probably disposed of him on some steep embankment somewhere around here. I think on this other picture, this kind of looks like a road. So maybe a road goes through here. I don't know. And of course, here's Zone 2 again. I can't really explain why I'm attracted to this area. For some reason, it just stood out to me, and I just kind of had a hunch that, you know, maybe there's a really good possibility that he could be found in this area here. So I'm sure that law enforcement has already searched this general area called Swan Lake. But I still feel from what I'm seeing in astrology that he is in the Swan Lake area. And after I came to that conclusion, I later read that after this event happened, police executed a search warrant for a location on 26th Avenue. And maybe that is where the attack took place. Maybe that is where the perpetrators were staying. I don't know. And then I got to looking at it on maps, and 26th Avenue is a very short distance from the Swan Lake area. And so, yeah, I believe that he is close by. He's still in his hometown. And I'm going to start going into why here in a little while. But yeah, this is about where I believe he can be found, somewhere in this area. I wish I could go there, I really do, and kind of scope it out. I realize that anyone searching for him in this area, you know, it's not going to be easy because it's summertime now. And, you've got snakes, you've got all kinds of wildlife out there that can, you know, be dangerous to humans. And so, you know, but I hope that this area gets searched. So now I'm going to go on to the astrology. Okay, so I did an asteroid study, so I plugged in certain asteroids into the last seen chart, which is the information I used to create the last seen chart is September 21st, 2023, 2 p.m., Vernon, Canada, BC. Vernon, BC, Canada, however you say it. I'm really not sure. But anyway, there was not an asteroid called Blayne, so I used the asteroid for Ferguson. And it shows up in Gemini. And Gemini represents your immediate surroundings. And so that's another reason why I believe he wasn't taken too far from his hometown. So then, let's see, I'm looking for another asteroid. Okay, this is in the 3rd house. The underlying sign that rules the 3rd house is Gemini, which is the local area in which you live, your community. And I use the asteroid for lake, and lake shows up in the 3rd house, and it shows up in Pisces, which also represents water, and it's conjunct Neptune, which also represents water. And so that's another reason why I believe Swan Lake is where his general location is. Let's see. Over here in the 10th house, which is about public life, what you're known for, how authority perceives you, authorities, also is in the 10th house. Swan falls here for Swan Lake, and Vernon also falls here, and he was last seen in public in the 10th house, rules public life, in Vernon, in the Swan Lake area, or near Swan Lake, near the Swan Lake area. So that's another reason I believe he's close by, his immediate environment, where he's from. Then we go over here to the 8th house. The 8th house rules mostly death when it comes to a crime chart. We have the vertex, which deals with fate, and it's in the 8th house of death. We have the asteroid for DNA, and it falls in the 8th house of death. And I plugged my name in here just to see where I fall in this chart. Since I'm analyzing it through astrology, I also show up here in the 8th house. I guess it shows that, I'm talking about this case or studying it astrologically, because the 8th house represents occult subjects like astrology, psychics, etc. Okay. And then we have over here in Sagittarius, which can rule birds like swans, we have the moon, and it's in the 12th house of sorrows, troubles, and secrets. Also, the moon represents missing people. And it's the ascendant, or the 1st house, starts with 16 degrees Sagittarius. Now, this 16 is used in location astrology to figure out about how far out the victim might be from where they were last seen. This can be 1.6 miles, within 16 miles, 160 miles, etc., and so on. And the person that's doing the location astrology on this will explain that further. So that's another reason why I believe he was last seen, or he will be found, if he's found, closer to home. Now, Sagittarius can rule long trips and things like that, but in this case, that might not be the case. Because Sagittarius can also rule things like philosophy, education, religion, those sorts of things, so it could indicate somewhere near a church, that sort of thing. So there's different ways to look at it, I guess you could say. And I found out about this case from someone who lives in the area. I don't want to mention their name because this case could involve gang activity. Because, like I said, it was a group of thugs that attacked this man. And mentioning their name could put them in danger. For instance, my husband was telling me the other day that somebody recorded somebody else unaliving someone else. And then they put it out on social media. Well, it turned out that the person that unalived somebody else was affiliated with the gang. Then they saw the person out. Okay, somehow they tracked them, I guess maybe through their computer or whatever, their username, I don't know how. But they tracked them, followed them, and unalived the person that filmed the attack. And so for that reason, for safety reasons, that's why I don't mention how I came about knowing about this case, that it's someone that I've been talking to for a while about this case. And so, but yeah, I just don't want to say their name because I don't want to put them in any sort of danger by mentioning who they are. So, let's see, we have the part of fortune, which is how a person comes through their fortune. We have this in the second house, and the second house deals with money. Okay? And we have Saturn here, which deals with things like restrictions and judges and, similar concepts. And then we have Pluto here in the second house. And Pluto is the co-ruler of Scorpio, and it represents things like gangs, death, things of that nature. And they're all here in the second house. And so that tells me that this was probably a financially motivated crime. Perhaps the goal was to rob this person, or they thought that the person had something that belonged to them, that sort of thing. And so that's just an overall astrological analysis of the case. I'm going to go into more depth, but let's see. I'm seeing if there's anything else here to mention at this time. Something else interesting here. In Taurus, in the 5th house of this chart, which is the last seen chart, we have Jupiter. And Jupiter, which looks like the number 4, is the chart ruler because it represents, or Jupiter is associated with Sagittarius. It rules Sagittarius. Okay, and it's over here in Taurus, and Taurus rules the color green, so I believe the person will be found, if they are found, surrounded by the color green, in a pastoral setting, a forest, somewhere that, there's a lot of greenery, trees, that sort of thing. And then here we have Uranus, and it's in Taurus. And it's at a critical degree of 22 degrees. The 22nd degree is a critical degree in astrology, and it means to kill or be killed. And the 5th house represents recreational places. That's another reason why I believe Swan Lake, because Swan Lake is a place of recreation. There's RV parks, etc. Okay, and also Sagittarius rules RVs, trailers, travel, that kind of thing. And so that's another reason why my astrological conclusion to this whole thing is Swan Lake. I believe he'll be found in a recreational area, somewhere around a lot of greenery, trees, shrubbery, that sort of thing, grass. And so, yeah. Also, I got to looking at the Sabian symbol for the North Node here. Now, the 4th house, the North Node shows up in the 4th house. And the North Node is, it's associated with destiny. It's associated with where we die, okay? Or what causes it. And it's in Aries. Aries deals with head injuries, firearms, that sort of thing. And the Sabian symbol, which I can't remember exactly what the Sabian symbol says, but it's associated with cerebral hemorrhages. So this person most likely passed away from a cerebral hemorrhage due to blunt force trauma to the head. The same thing is implied here with Chiron in Aries. Chiron is a wound that won't heal. And so, like I said, I'm just giving an overview right now. And so now I'm going to go on to the next section. Forgot to mention about the 4th house. In a crime chart, the fourth house represents the tomb, because the fourth house represents the beginning and the end, the womb and the tomb, and so on. And so that's why I look at the fourth house and read it in context, or read the North Node and Chiron in context of the fourth house. So I hope that helps as far as the explanation, because I didn't explain what the fourth house was about. Forgot to mention about the fourth house. In a crime chart, the fourth house represents the tomb, because the fourth house represents the beginning and the end, the womb and the tomb, and so on. And so that's why I look at the fourth house and read it in context, or read the North Node and Chiron in context of the fourth house. So I hope that helps as far as the explanation, because I didn't explain what the fourth house was about. So now I'm going to do some tarot, and I'm going to ask the Necronomicon deck, I know that's hard to pronounce, about where he could be found, like give us an idea. Tarot is nothing more than intuition in pictures. And so I'm asking the tarot to give me a visual on the type of environment he could be found in. So I drew the Three of Discs, which is also known as the Three of Coins. And this shows a person in an outdoor environment surrounded by trees in a forest area. You see the man to the left. I believe that that is going to represent Blayne in this particular situation. Now I'm going to ask the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, which is another deck that I use for forensic tarot, to elaborate on where he may be found. So I drew the Eight of Swords from the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot deck, and here it shows another outdoor environment, a forest area, and it shows a man who appears to be deceased. And so I believe that the tarot is backing up the astrological findings. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can hit me up here on YouTube. I also have an email address, forensicastrology68@gmail.com. You can email me as well. And just let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.